Hello, Dylan here, and I wanted to do a video ranking the Fate series since I'm pretty much now really obsessed with it. First off, the best things, there's some things I'm not going to take into effect because the best things for each of them that they each have in common, at least to me, is that they all have this amazing sound design and such incredible animation, regardless of like which studio is doing it for that series. So these are ranked based on the characters and the story. And also, let's not include the 2006 Fate Stay Night. I'd rather not think about that one. Also, I won't include Fate Khalid, because I want to focus on the ones that revolve around the Holy Grail Wars. Also, I may have not finished it yet. But to be fair, that one's like completely like a complete spin-off compared to other spin-offs. So that one I'm just not going to include because it's not really, as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to be much, and there's not much connecting it to Holy Grail Wars that I'm able to tell. Let me cut in here for a bit. This is about a week or two since I made this video, or the video that you're watching. Well, not this part. This part is a week or two after making the original video here. And I just want to say that I'm finishing season 2, and I gotta correct some things that I said. First off is I made the original video when I watched only one episode of Fate Khalid. So obviously there's more to the story than just that one episode. And second off, I may have said something about it not being a part of the Holy Grail Wars, but there actually is a slight connection to the Holy Grail Wars via Ilya and her mysterious tanned twin nicknamed Kuro. Finally, I'm not changing anything in the list because that would just end up me making a whole nother video, and I don't really feel like doing that. And the main thing is, while there is a connection, there really is no more Holy Grail Wars in the story of Fate Khalid, said by Ilya's mother herself. So there will be no point in adding into the list, considering the list is all about things where there is a Holy Grail war that is that is always going to be happening in the series that would be talking about in the list. So I just wanted to jump in and make some corrections. So now back to the actual video. Okay, gonna have to do a cut in for the cut in because I just finished the part 2 of season 2 for Faith Khalid, and they just somehow managed to have a better connection to the Holy Grail War, like a better connection to the Holy Grail War than I originally thought. And I've been thinking of whether I should just redo this whole video or just keep it how it is. And I decided, because I'm just lazy, I'm gonna keep the video how it is and just consider Fate Khalid as an honorary mention. So yeah, back to the actual list now. One more thing, I have 2 of them in the number 1 spot because I just can't pick between them. So there will be a top 4 instead of like a top 5. Now, number 4, the bottom one, the number 4 spot, I chose Fate Extra Last Encore because it has a returning lovable character, Ren, however you want to say it. But the storyline is just so confusing. It's probably the most confusing storyline I've ever experienced. I still don't understand what really happened. And that's why I'm going to talk about that, because this is not about me talking about them. Like I said, this is just me ranking them. This is not going too much into it. Number 3, I put Fate Zero, which is the prequel that gives us some answers to Fate Stay Night's protagonist's father. Most people tend to suggest this one as like the first one to watch, but technically it is a prequel, but it's something that gives us plenty of answers. The characters, I mean, we have Saber, but there's not a lot of memorable characters other than like Saber and Gilgamesh and is it Shiro? I think it was Shiro. I mean, there's not a lot to it other than that. So number 2, I put Fate Apocrypha, because in that one we get some really great characters with it, like Astolfo, Madred. We get another Shiro, and we get Frank. Oh yeah, Frank. There's Frankenstein. There's all these great characters in it, but the storyline is somewhat similar to like the original, the original story of it, of a Holy Grail war turned, but with a twist of it being a greater Holy Grail war. So it's a similar story, just a bit bigger, slightly bigger than the original. And now we have the number 1, where we have 2, where I put 2 of them here. And if you can tell which 2 they are, you can tell by now what are the 2 that I picked here. Number 1 is obviously the technically original, the first story of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Even though that came out after Fate Zero, it's still technically like the first, supposed to be like the first story. Like Zero is supposed to be the prequel. First, of course, I'm going to talk about that first before going into the next one. For Unlimited Blade Works, there were all these great characters. Like we have Saber and Archer and Lancer. I typed out Lance. Why did I do that? But all these different great like masters and servants. I realize now that a lot of all the characters I talked about are more the servants than the masters. But oh yeah, you get like Ilya and Rin and Emiya. You have all these like technically classic characters if you've watched the 2006 version, which I highly suggest you don't watch 2006 version. That one's just so confusing. But the one thing that put this at number 1 is the plot twist toward the end with Archer, right? Yeah, Archer and Emiya. That was like one of the, I think I was able to pick up what it was without them completely revealing it. I'm not going to say it here, obviously, but the way they toward the big reveal of it, they kept hinting at it so much that I was able to pick it up before they did their big reveal. And I was surprised at how right I was with that kind of plot twist. I didn't expect that I would actually be right, but I actually really love that plot twist. And how Emmy is like a bigger character with this whole series. Okay, and for the second number 1, I chose, if you can't figure out by now, my recent one that I finished, Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front, Babylonia. Now, the reason for this could just be because I finished it more recently compared to the others, but we have some of the best characters in my opinion. Like we have like Jaguar Warrior, Ishtar, Merlin. I don't know how to say her name. Anna, however you say her name. We have Fujimaru and Mash, the main 2. Then we have Gilgamesh is back, but not as a servant this time. This is in his time in what's it called? The Uruk, in like his kingdom. So time travel kind of stuff. Then we have like some of these quote unquote villain enemies like Gorgon and Tiamat. What was it? And Enkidu, I think that's how you say it. And like all these different great characters that I know they're all, I just really like all the characters for it. And it also has like one of the craziest storylines it's such a crazy storyline, but you're able to keep up with it. As long as you've watched like the First Order movie and the episode 0 that's like before it. The First Order movie kind of like sets it up. Episode 0 sets it up in a shorter amount of time, but the First Order movie, I do highly recommend checking that out if you haven't watched it. Otherwise, you would probably get confused watching it, because it's all about like saving the future of humanity. Like the whole point of it is them going back in time to these what were they called? Singularities that happened during these Holy Grail wars, or something like that, It all revolved around Holy Grails, the Holy Grail again. they go back to in time to these singularities, and they have to fix the singularity to stop the destruction of the future of humanity that happens, that is at that time, when that's really close to happening of in that present time. I just really love it so much. Also, the music in each of these, and every single fate, the music is always so good. That is my top 4. I guess top 4 technically. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to join this positive anime guild, and I hope to see you later. I hope to see you next time. See ya.